Welcome to the RCAD. Three guys are here. One guy is he's got the sniffles and can't make it. So you figure out who that is.
Chicken shit.
I'm just saying that there's two people on this amazing race that are going to finish. Okay.
Yeah, you know what happened? Because Matt and I were talking before we started. You know, an amazing race. Your partner Nick would be going, "Sorry, gents, I can't do this race anymore. It's like 70. It's cold out here. I'm not going. I got the sniffles. I can't.
He's going to show up like surprise. No, he's in bed. He's asleep.
It would be Oh, let me switch my mic. But
it would be comedic gold if he showed up.
It would.
Like, what the fuck are you guys talking
about? He's probably already dropped like 4 chewies and he's asleep.
If it would be, if he's my partner, it would just be like as soon as if he gave up, like I don't feel good, I don't want to, I'd just be hazing him nonstop for the episode, and then they'd be like, I'd pick you up and carry you, but you're too fucking fat for me to pick up, it'd just constantly just.
Well, those are the worst people because there was on the last race there was a father and daughter team, and whatever she just was whining and complaining. I go, for the love of God, shut up. How many people want to be on this show and you're bitching and complaining about being on the show?
I don't know if I could do it. I don't know if I could do it with my daughter because I would definitely probably be. Come on,
he was a saint. He was a saint. I mean,
because the cameras were on. As soon as those cameras were off at night in the hotel, he's like, "You just better pull your shit together. I'm tired of carrying yours."
That's why I was. Because Cindy goes, we should apply. And I go, I would come off as the biggest asshole in Amazing Race history just because
it's if we recorded the stuff before and after we record this show, everyone would be like, these guys are like the biggest assholes, more so than what we thought they were before.
I thought they were just acting.
I thought they were just acting. Jack was like, "Oh, Matt, you're gonna get canceled for all these things you're saying before we start the show."
I did say that.
I think most people are assholes, though. That's the thing. This whole week was my company's conference here in Colorado, and the last week and this week I've just been prepping or talking with customers and clients, all these things. And one of my good friends, coworkers, had to give an opening day presentation, and he went on probably 10 minutes before I did. And one of his bullshit lines was out there going like, "I'm out here looking in the audience and I'm seeing a lot of smiles." And I told him before on stage, he's like, "When you say that line, I want you to look over at me," because I was sitting in the front row because I had to go after him. And as soon as he did, I was just like, "Fuck you."
What would Roy Kent say?
Right. Yeah.
And I think that's why people love Roy Kent, because Roy Kent, I think, is a lot of the hidden parts of us. So he does the things that a lot of us want to do.
Yeah. Hey, is that Roy Kent? Get fucked.
You don't watch, Matt, you don't watch Secession, right?
No.
There's the main character, Logan Roy, on there. He always says, "Fuck off. Fuck off." So I found myself, after I binged it, just saying, "Fuck off. Fuck off." So we'll say something, "Fuck off."
Well, they say that cussing helps with the pain. They did studies about people last longer in endurance if they cuss. Oh. I think it was some study where it was something easy, like putting your hand in cold water for long periods of time, or subjecting your body to extreme temperatures or something like that. And the people that in the test study, the ones that were allowed to cuss and swear, they lasted longer. So it's out there.
I can see that.
Yeah. So, it's the power of letting it out.
Is it because you're channeling your energy into something else?
It's a release.
Yeah, it's where the
Am I freezing up? Am I freezing up?
You're fine.
Okay.
Why?
You guys are freezing up. So
all right. Those are the only two Ted Lasso references I'll give then. So
yeah, I haven't watched. I've been so far behind this week. I've got both Star Wars shows, Last of Us episode, Ted Lasso. I've got 4 or 5 shows to watch tomorrow, so I'm pretty excited.
Oh, okay.
Have you watched Pokerface yet?
No, that's on AMC, right? Or
no, it's on Peacock.
I don't have Peacock. I knew it was on one of the ones I don't have.
I did start watching it. I love it, or I like it. I didn't know exactly what the show is going to be about, so after the first episode, things you're kind of like, oh, with that second episode, you kind of know, oh, this is how the show is, and that's fine. It's kind of like, but I like every episode and the characters that they introduce and her
and it kind of evolves as the
I assume that it had. I think I'm 4 episodes in, maybe, or 5. I'm 4 or 5 episodes in, but it's been my evening show when I'm not binging the Trek and the Star Treks, and I've taken a slight detour from my Star Trek binging, as people may or may not give a fuck. It's what I have on in the background when I work. My new binge work show has been X-Men, the old cartoon from the 90s. Yeah. And Disney Plus is supposed to have a reboot season of that, or not a reboot, but a continuation, which I think it's set to come out this fall. And it's going to be called X-Men 97. So,
why is it just X-Men? That's kind of sexist.
If you only knew.
Shouldn't it be X-People?
Sure. Yes. Fine.
Yeah, but that implies that they're dead.
Well, X-Men.
The one thing that X-Men did do.
Are there a bunch of divorce guys? X-Men?
Just for the sake of talking comic book history, is that Chris Claremont, he infused that line, that X-Men line, with a lot of strong female characters, and also a lot of kind of more soap opera writing, where there was a lot more romance and drama happening between these characters, and his writing background really and made that series come to life, and it became hugely popular in the 80s.
It is it is funny, because aside from Wolverine, I like Jubilee and Rogue were 2 of my favorite characters, just because they were different, but
I believe those were both created by Chris Claremont, if I'm not mistaken. So there's another artist that was involved with that. Byrne, I believe is his name. But anyway, that's
Frank Burns.
No, I have it written down. So, and for any comic book people out there, maybe they know who I'm talking about. But he was more of the pencil plotter. But those 2 were kind of like that duo that really kind of helmed X-Men and really made it come to life. So even though it says men, the strong female characters and the Dark Phoenix Saga and some of these other storylines really helped kind of fill out that comic. And since many comic books have gone the way of men, and just male focused, the strong female characters, actually do invite in the
Wonder Woman.
readers. So,
but that's kind of, it's different, back then versus today, because even She-Hulk was written for teenage boys, because it's not like they could find Playboys or anything. So they made a sexualized comic,
Yeah, but they just don't have a lot of female artists or writers in the industry. So it is very much a male boys club.
Is that because they can't get a wedge in there, or is it because there's not?
I think it's just the time. When
they've also been kind of edged out, and so if you don't give a female a job, then you're not going to allow more and more females to grow within that industry. So it's always been a very there just hasn't been a lot of females welcome into that industry. So you see a lot more of it come from the underground comic scene, and then eventually through graphic novels of the last 20 years. So sorry, this is all I do all day long, is I read and research this shit. So
actually, it's pretty interesting.
You're getting my verbal dump of all my stuff that I've
verbal dump. That's better than the
I mean, seriously, my day is spent just researching, reading, double checking things, looking up characters, and it seems like it should be fun because it's comic book, but sometimes it's just really kind of boring.
You should start your own YouTube channel, because that's the stuff that the geeks,
I know. I'm still. I feel like I'm in the
you
collecting.
you think I'm joking?
Yeah.
I mean, look at Jay.
No, it's funny because I got into a conversation with the guy at the bookstore about it because I just happened to find an encyclopedia of Marvel characters and DC characters, and I was going through those recently, and I just bought them at my local half price books, and the guy checking me out was like, "You should do a YouTube thing." So.
Sorry to get off topic, guys. John,
No,
the
that's
retired
okay.
guy, asked
That's what he wanted to do.
And he asked if any of us had sat down and watched everything all at once.
Yeah, we liked it.
Stunk. Can't believe it actually
I've never seen
it. Yeah, like I think Chris was the first one of us to watch it, and then Matt soon afterwards, or maybe reverse.
I don't know why you're explaining this to John, the retired guy. He's with us every fucking week.
True. I mean, it wasn't a year ago. It was a year ago when that movie came out, though.
Well, I know
he's in California, and he's probably been dropping LSD. And
I mean,
you know,
of the three of us that saw it, though, John, all three of us loved it.
Yeah.
So,
the reason I didn't go to see it because they kept showing the previews we were going to the movies every week. And I'm going, is anyone going to go see this crap? And then when people started talking about how, I go, what movie is that? And I go, wait, that's the movie I always would go at because we're at the movies. I go,
I mean, of the nominees, that probably would have been my vote for the because it's as far as writing, as far as direction and cinematography, and a lot of things were very good about it.
It was very I mean,
it's very
I only saw 3 of them. I think Top Gun, Maverick. This last weekend I watched All Quiet on the Western Front.
Yeah, which I was actually surprised that was nominated because it's like the 4th or 5th remake of that movie.
Yeah,
and it's still great. It's still a great remake, but it's been whipped, to death.
I like how they have the 4 main characters, those young kids.
Yeah,
but they're German. I mean, do we really care if they're getting killed? I mean,
well, it's an anti-war film. I mean, that's what it is. It's not. Yeah, I get what you're saying, but. But like that last scene always gets you. The fact that the war, they knew the war was over, but they still sent them in to die.
And with the fact that they were only fighting for a certain section part of, it never moved. It just never moved, back and forth just a little. War is stupid. Let's just face it.
It's stupid. Yeah.
And 4 Germans get upset with me. I have German heritage. I'm sure some of my cousins and second cousins, third cousins were the ones dying in that trench. So back off. But seriously, I started watching it late at night. And I go, I'll watch like a half hour of this, then I'll finish it tomorrow. It's like 2:30 in the morning. It's a long movie. It's like 2.5 hours. And I go, well, I've gone this far. Let's just finish the movie. And so I was like, but I enjoyed it. I thought it was pretty good.
I think that's how most people feel with this podcast. Like they get to that second hour that, they're like an hour in and they're like, okay, do I go? Then they're like, there's just another 45 minutes to go. What more could they possibly talk about? I still haven't gotten to the mysterious like name for the episode. Like I got to get to the last dick joke.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, I would recommend watching. I mean, like Nick said, it's at least the 4th remake of it. When I first saw it on Netflix, I didn't realize it was a new version of it. Yeah. I'm like going, I saw this movie like years ago. So then I clicked on it, I go, oh wait, this is new? Okay. All right.
Yeah, I know. I had it written down in November when it came out. I think it came out in November, October to watch, and I enjoyed it on Netflix. I mean,
you have a list.
I do have a list. I mean, think about how many platforms now we have to switch between.
Sure.
So I look up like what's coming out fall, what's coming out spring, and then I just write them all down. Like, oh, I want to see this, I want to see this, and so I kind of have
I'm not quite that organized. Sometimes I should be because sometimes I'll sit there and go, oh fuck, I forgot that was even on.
Mm-hmm. No,
so The Last of Us. I'm waiting till. Did the last episode happen?
Yeah, last episode was Sunday. Yeah, there's only 9 episodes this season.
Now I can binge that. I've found that binging is easier than watching. Trying to watch it once a week.
There are shows like that. I mean, even when I started to watch Ted Lasso, season 3, like I watched the first episode and we were really excited about it. But there was this feeling about it where I was just like, oh, I know I'm gonna want to watch the next episode at the end of this. And keep in mind that like it's weird because we grew up on week-to-week television, but week-to-week television we're almost like more critical of. We're like, oh, that left me unsatisfied, or it's just like.
And I was anti binging for the longest time.
Yeah.
I mean, I did it. Like when I
did it. Sure, I did it.
When we did the Stranger Thing podcast, I said I hate watching it all at once because it's one of those shows that you want to watch it a second time so you catch things you miss. And I said I hate binging. But no.
Sorry, I was reading the back before between Will and John.
Yeah, sadly, John, the retired guy, the war isn't over.
Right?
It's still going on.
There's still fucking Nazis out there.
It's over if you want it.
They're still in those trenches.
I see what you did there. Yeah, we still have to fight fucking Nazis. That's where they're pulling Harrison Ford out of retirement just to de-age him.
Exactly.
Yeah, but it's funny. Like they had all that footage of him though from previous films that they could use to make him look as realistic as possible. So I was like, that's pretty cool.
Speaking of going back to the Oscars, did you guys watch it? I didn't see a single.
I was still working.
Having sex.
Yeah.
Okay.
The whole
yourself,
time. The whole time.
But now it's all quiet on the Western Front.
Touche.
Now, I didn't really notice anything.
She did say, "Wow, that was a Top Gun."
Take me to bed or lose me forever.
Or
whatever.
At the end of the night, though, everything, everywhere, all at once, just everywhere.
Yeah, I mean, it's like a lot of people were rooting for Banshees of Sharon, which I liked the movie. It's just so depressing. Like it's well written, it's well directed.
Also, kudos to people calling out for like, it's not okay to be racist against Irish. It's like, oh well, they're just white, so we can make fun of Irish people. Like,
were people doing that?
This goes back a long time, making fun of Irish people. So
were people doing that on St. Patrick's Day?
I can make fun of Irish people because I'm Irish.
You claim every European.
No. It's at 23andMe is fact. I have a lot of Irish in me. I was talking about it on the Survivor podcast. I always pick on people that I never used to do it before. Now I can do it and openly say it. I go, oh no, here's my 23andMe. I'm not being racist to Irish people. I'm Irish.
I'm Irish as well, which is why I can say the
Irish.
most Irish thing that I saw was there was this comic made back in the 1850s making fun of Irish people. And as I was searching out more about this image and more about this artwork, I found it on a t-shirt that was for Happy St. Patrick's Day. Okay, I'll look it up here and see if I can find it.
The only two things I was going to say about the Oscars, the only thing I knew about it was that Angela Bassett wasn't happy about losing.
Oh yeah, she didn't even clap. Yeah. Which it's a bit, I mean, it's fine, but it's just not classy. But and
I like her. I think she's a great actress. I mean, she's been in a lot of stuff.
Do we care if Tom Cruise showed up or not? Like, does it?
Well, they say it's because he didn't want to see Nicole.
He didn't want to see who?
Come on, Top Gun Maverick, be ballsy. I mean, show up.
Oh, come on.
I was a little upset with my friend, my close personal
expensive
friend.
Movie can't show up because he's afraid of his ex. Come on,
I don't know. I mean,
that's the rumors on the street.
If he's that sensitive, then Jesus, like,
I didn't like the way people were bashing Jamie Lee Curtis. She didn't vote for herself. Huh?
I mean, like I said, I saw the acceptance speeches later, but
no, I didn't even watch this. I didn't watch the speech. No,
I don't know why you would bash Jamie Lee Curtis. I mean, she did a great job.
They said she didn't deserve it. I didn't see it, so I can't say.
But who did? I mean, they're nominated for a reason. I mean, it is what it is. And the thing about some of those actors, though, like they might not deserve it the year they win, but the career that they've had, it's like Leonardo DiCaprio. Leonardo DiCaprio, what he won for was by no means his best role, his best performance, but it's like, well, fuck, he earned one. He deserved one. How many times has he been nominated? Same as like Martin Scorsese. How many times has that man been nominated? And what he won for was not his best picture.
Look at Paul.
I do like The Departed.
I love The Departed. I love The Departed.
Part of that, but look at Paul Newman. He didn't even show up for the eighth time that he won for The Verdict, and you're like going, and he didn't even show up. He's like, I've shown up 7 straight times, and you're like, well, The Verdict's a good movie.
No,
are you going to say
he won for?
But I mean, that wouldn't even be in my when I think of Paul Newman. That's not what I think of, right?
I thought it was a verdict.
He won for the follow up to the Hustler.
Is that what it was?
Yeah,
he didn't win. I thought he won for The Verdict.
You mean the one with Tom Cruise?
Yeah, the one with Tom Cruise.
The Color of Money.
Color of Money. I'm pretty sure he won for the Color of Money.
Is Matt Treese in the chat?
I thought he won.
I thought it was The Verdict.
I'm googling something else.
I mean, all those great movies.
We need Chris, because Chris is the only one that likes to actually Google shit while we're arguing.
If only we had Chris.
Well, all those great movies that he was in, and he was. I mean, he's a fantastic career. You're like, he has a great salad dressing.
Well, the thing from watching that documentary on him, him and his wife, you kind of got the feeling, especially in some of those you should. That's good. The last it's like the last movie stars or something like that. It's on HBO. I think
last movie star. I think you mentioned it before, right? Yeah, I got to watch it.
Yeah, but like you kind of get that feeling, in that he was really not respected until the late 60s or even past that, because a lot of people thought of him as a half-ass Marlon Brando. And and so they kept comparing him to Marlon Brando. Yeah.
Stella.
And so that he was always just kind of like, and then but by the time
plus he was
by the time you get to
let's face it,
exactly.
People don't get, we get kind of snubbed.
Because HUD is like the first one where he actually does well. I mean, as it actually like shows his craft is forming. And you have Cool Hand Luke, and like you're just like, damn, like mid to late 60s, he's just like he's just dialed in.
Butch Cassidy's Sundance Kid.
Yeah.
Which Burt Bacharach won.
Yeah.
Bum 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 bum.
But that's the thing, is like, to me, Butch Cassidy is far superior to the Sting. But yet the Sting won, but Butch Cassidy didn't, and you're just kind of like, whatever.
I think because the Sting, it was the twist. It's like when they tried to do Sting 2, it's like, come on, Mac Davis.
Right.
Just keep playing football. You don't need to do that. But I also, the people were upset with the, when it was a what's it called? The, when people die, drawing a blank. Memorandum.
Oh, the In Memoriam?
Titanic.
Memoriam, yeah. And so many people were left off it.
They do that every year, though. Like, there's always
somebody.
But
this was some big names. I mean, Paul Sorvino was left off. I mean, come on. Ted Sizemore was left off it, and Hayes was left off it, Cindy Williams was left off it, Fred Ward from The Right Stuff, born in San Diego. I think that was what probably what kept him up. But there was a lot of actors that go, okay, what's the criteria for keeping some actors on and some actors off?
Right.
If you're gonna have it, you should have as many people as you can in it. You shouldn't cut it. Okay, well, this guy doesn't make the. I mean, Fred Ward was in a lot of great movies, right?
Mm-hmm.
Had a great long career. Ted Sizemore he had demons off.
And Hayes.
He had some demons.
I mean, she was.
And Hayes, yes.
Yeah, that's a. Oh, here I have this to share here with you. So.
Yeah, that's true.
Sherry says she's about 3/4 of the people included.
I get you, because I think. Oh,
here's the usual Irish way of doing things.
I've seen that.
Yeah. So.
Those are my. I think that's my.
This is Thomas Nast. Grandfather. That's the artist that made this. Famous for also making the political party
Civil
symbols.
War stuff.
So the donkey and the elephant, and he also used the tiger for.
I see the resemblance, Jack, though.
Yeah, it's that's family there.
Yeah, that's family. But no, I mean, like you can find this on St. Patty's Day shirts. So. Which I just thought
nice.
There you go. It's right around the corner. In fact,
anyway,
it's tomorrow.
Again, I don't watch the Oscars. I guess the ratings were up this year, but it was the third lowest of all time.
Well, they were up because they were like, fight.
They were hoping someone. They were hoping someone would actually punch Jimmy Kimmel this year.
Yeah, they were like, oh man.
It used to be they used to get like 40 or 50 million people watching it. Now it's 18 million watching it. I don't like. I said, I think I saw 3 of the movies.
There's no must see TV now.
No.
Right.
Because we binge everything, because we can just tune in later to see the highlights,
which is what we want.
Nobody is like focused in on that thing, right? We're now in the TikTok era where everything's like a 30-second minute sound.
People have already scrolled through us like 10 times.
Probably. Right, for sure. And I mean,
that's my wife watching. My wife, I forgot to say it. She was I came downstairs on Sunday. I go, she goes, there's some bacon, but it might be a little overcooked. I go, it smells like burnt bacon. She was on TikTok. She put the bacon in, forgot about it.
I still eat it.
Oh.
And 30 minutes later, I go, well, I don't like my bacon like I like my men. Sorry.
Crispy?
Yeah, crispy. But it was pretty charred bacon. I mean, it's
like Florida leather.
I said, I'll make when Zach's been because Zach likes his bacon still crawling. He calls it squishy bacon. I mean, it's literally you have to pull out at the right time.
That's what she said.
But no, if it's a little overcooked, he goes, "This is crappy, Papa." It's not.
Wow.
I go because I sit there and watch. I go, okay, turn it over. I cook my bacon now in the oven.
Huh? Oh, really? In the oven?
You put on an
air fryer, or are we talking oven?
No, oven. You put it on a cookie sheet or tin foil.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. There's no mess. You don't have that. It splatters
all. Because
you know
the
how you're
smell
cooking
gets
bacon
everywhere.
And you know how you're cooking bacon and it's like hitting you, and you're like, and you're like, you need to get your lightsaber out.
It's like this pop in and this.
Use the force.
That makes sense. Also, the smell too, because like that's a big drawback for me for the bacon. Sorry, it's just it gets everywhere. It's like that fume, and sure, you might be like, oh, it's bacon, it smells nice, but no, it doesn't. And all that grease just gets in the air. It gets all annoying.
I kind of like bacon. I like bacon smell for a while. I mean, I want to smell it all day.
Yeah, it's just it lingers.
I was sitting in front of a client last night who got a cheeseburger at the restaurant, and it came with bacon automatically, even though you didn't order it. And I watched him take the bacon off the burger. And it wasn't a religious thing. It wasn't a religious thing. I wanted to just look at it. I can't shame a client though, but it was one of those things where it's
you should have brought me. I said, what the fuck is your problem?
I've never met a pig. Exactly. I've never met a pig I didn't like. I would eat that bacon no matter what. It's like, what's wrong with you?
That's what she said.
I wouldn't eat the bacon from Deadwood. The pigs in Deadwood that eat.
God knows.
Yeah, those. You're.
As much as I love pig discussion, can I just commend you on your background? The thing that you created for this week's show. I like the rainy. It's like very like dark and kind of like gloomy. It's kind of how today actually felt outside, and maybe also how Chris is feeling right now.
Yeah, I figured you'd like it. It's kind of arty.
It was very, very artistically done. It's nice touch there.
Thank you.
Nutch.
He really did.
I'm trying. It's hard to live up to what you did, but
we all have to carry on.
Since I have to do it.
Yeah, sure.
Have to do it.
You do.
It gets everywhere famous Nancy Reagan.
I mean, I thought other people might like Chris might like to take on this mantle.
Chris can't even show up for the podcast. How's he gonna produce the show?
It'll be like 2 minutes before we're about to record. Like, what's the password again?
Right. Sorry, gents. Because if you don't know what we're talking about, in our chat, he always calls us gents. I'm like, how fucking old is Chris?
It's usually an hour before we're about to record too.
Is he British? Is that a British term?
Gents? No, it's just gentleman. I don't know.
I mean, it's nice. It's polite, So, but when have you guys known Chris to be polite? I ask you, the listeners.
Yeah, he's a dick, right? So
and we can get away with this because he'll never listen.
I know.
Exactly. I said before we started recording.
I was like,
we can say whatever we fucking want. I think at this point, though, it'd be a good time to take a commercial break.
You can keep talking. You don't have to pause.
Sure, yeah.
I don't know the fucking rules.
You have to pause for at least 2 seconds.
2 seconds.
You just keep going.
2 seconds so you can write it down.
So Jack said that he only watched 3 of the pictures, and we just started right in with.
I don't know.
We didn't finish the other 2 he watched.
Does it matter?
I'm trying to remember all the. There was 10
only
nominees,
Will Fry has watched it in the chat. So
I saw Top Gun.
No, he was talking about the Oscars. How he watches the Oscars every year. Yeah, but just the best pictures.
Top Gun Maverick.
I watched half,
All Quiet on the Western. I didn't even know it was nominated.
Yeah,
that's how I was like going. I don't know. And then I saw there was another movie that was nominated that I saw, and I can't remember what it was.
It was Avatar,
I didn't,
The Way of Water.
No, it wasn't Avatar. I don't think that was it. No.
Surprise!
I mean, how can they? In this day and age when there's not that many new movies, how can they get 10 movies?
Right. Well, I mean, there's
it's like, okay, all right, we'll put Top Gun Maverick in there.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Is like Avatar. Like to me, Avatar and Top Gun, even though they're entertaining and they're not bad films, to me they're not Oscar worthy because Avatar to me was just a copy of the first one, and then Top Gun to some extent is a copy of the first one.
I mean, I enjoyed it, but it's not like it's like. I mean, I was upset when Star Wars didn't win, but Black Panther 2 with
I think it's just preferential treatment there, So
all right, Will, what were the 10 movies that were nominated?
So he said the same thing. Everything, Everywhere, All at Once was best by far. So.
Well, it sounds like Will and John are going to get a fight in the chat here. So if you enjoy this, join us live on
the old
Wednesday or Tuesday or
Ed,
whenever.
The creepy mail carrier and somebody else that used to be in the sports talk one. Oh my God, it was like that was the best. That would get ugly.
That would get ugly. Yeah. So
you had issues with that person too. Well, I think we all had issues with that.
I think she or that person had issues with a lot of people. So it was more like an internal thing. Sometimes people have their own internal engine and they don't realize like, hey, I'm not the only person alive.
Oh,
I lost it on Twitter once with that person. So.
Oh, okay.
I did because I forgot about the Oscars when they were coming out. But another one that I did watch maybe a week and a half ago was well, the Golden Globes did, but not but I watched Tar, which is
Tar is The Amazing Race.
Tar?
That's what they abbreviate.
Oh, I got you. Yeah. No, Tar.
Seriously,
these cigarettes are with less tar.
Like Tar is.
Oh, is it a cigarette movie?
No, it's Kate Blanchett, and she's a conductor. Like she's a
on a train
symphony conductor.
Oh, okay.
No, ironically, she's also a train conductor too.
Right.
Okay. Throw more wood in there. We need more steam.
It's an art film. It's not. It's not for everybody. I would say only about. I'd say most people would hate it. The first 2/3 of the movie are very good, and that they're a normal movie. And then there's a certain point in the film where something happens, and then the last third of the film.
Thanks for spoiling me, Nick.
No, I'm not telling you.
No, because I'm gonna be sitting there for 2/3 of the movie going,
well, when's it gonna drop?
No, it's just, it's good. It's just, it's kind of, you don't really know what the movie's about in some ways, because it's kind of a subtle reflection on cancel culture in some ways, and it's also about the pressure of
is it modern
life.
day?
Yeah, it's modern day.
Okay.
Yeah, so even Matt says that it's definitely a more indie art house. Agree. Definitely.
Matt Treese, not me, by the way.
Matt Treese. Yeah. I mean, I still enjoyed it, and I'm glad that I saw it. But it will leave you going, kind of, what the hell, And you
especially with the orgy at the end.
Yeah, exactly. Well, you'll just be pondering for a while, of like, okay, and then, but it's really left up to you as the viewer what you want to think about it, and that's why it's kind of an art film in a way. But I enjoyed it. It's just one of those things where I could see it's definitely Oscar bait in a way. Of it's one of those movies you'll watch. You maybe watch it 2-3 times in your lifetime, but that's about it.
3 times in my lifetime.
Ever. Well, it's the same as like The Whale or Crash or a lot of these films that.
Okay, I never saw The Whale.
The Whale, like I said, The Whale is good. It's sad. It's very well acted, obviously, because Brandon won.
I thought it was the story of SeaWorld and how they were not allowed to take the orcas.
Yeah, I already talked about The Whale. The Whale is a decent film because what makes you think it's just going to be about a fat guy.
You keep flashing it up there like it's going to matter, but
since before COVID, nothing seems to be. Yeah, and you're right in a way, John. Yeah, it's some stuff. I was glad that I saw Top Gun in the theater because you're getting that whole visual experience.
Yeah.
There's a couple of them I was glad I saw in the theater.
Ice Man. Oh, sorry, it's the wrong one.
But
I did see. Speaking of orgy, I did start. Sydney, I tried to watch that.
So we found an old film in the house.
Speaking of orgy,
Sydney, I tried to watch that movie. what's it with Margot Robbie and Brad
It's called
Pitt?
Pornhub.com.
What's it called?
Burlesque. Was it
I
Burlesque
said,
or something?
Not burlesque.
you said,
it's,
I started to
something
watch
like
this
that.
movie
L'Amour.
called, and I said Pornhub.com.
Pornhub.com. Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't
Started
remember.
watching this.
We watched
this
like
movie.
20 minutes of it. I said, okay, I see why it got such bad reviews on Rotten.
Yeah.
I go, I didn't say. I'm one of those people.
Wait, what movie was this?
It's
What movie am I talking about, Matt Trees?
Same Burlesque, but it's not Burlesque. It's the
It's
same
not
guy
Burlesque.
who did Whiplash and La La Land.
Okay. Isn't it on Peacock or something like that?
It's on some streaming service. I
Some
think it might
streaming.
be Peacock.
Or Paramount?
Because when it first
Babylon,
saw it, Babylon, that's it.
Yeah,
Babylon,
Trees, you
yeah.
can just join us since we don't have Chris.
I don't
Really just giving
have
us
you.
the-
Well, there you go, Matt Trees.
It is on
I'm-
Peacock. Yeah,
I'm
thought I
hosting
kept-
the show. How come I'm the last one to see it?
I don't know.
Yeah,
I have
Paramount
my.
Plus. That's right.
Mm.
Yeah, I didn't
But
see
yeah,
that
we
one either.
we watched like 20, 25 minutes of it. I kept looking, going, okay, I'm not going to be the one to say, hey, this movie sucks.
Mm.
Let's stop. And Cindy
Okay.
Guy goes, I think it's she. Well, I knew when she pulled out her iPad,
Mm.
started going on TikTok. I go, so you don't want to watch this anymore? She goes,
Yeah, right.
no. Do you? I go, no. I go, it's pretty.
Okay, just to kind of preface that with another show that my wife and I just kind of like jumped in on because we watched what was it? Single Parents. It was it's already
know that one.
that's only 2 seasons of it. It's a sitcom. The premises are really thin at the very beginning, but it was good enough that we kept going with it, and we enjoyed that sitcom. It ended right before COVID. There's just again 2 seasons of it.
Mhm.
Is it a
But
British show?
what's up?
Is it a British show?
No, it's a US show. I think it was on Hulu. But that's not the show that I wanted to mention. The show I wanted to mention was
Segue to a segue.
Animal Control, because that was a show that we both were like, oh well, let's watch this. And she watched the pilot and she was like, yeah, it
Joe
wasn't that
McHale,
good.
right?
Yeah, and she was like, it's not that good.
Right. Oh, it's not.
And so I was like, well, let's just watch the second episode together because I didn't get a chance to watch the first one. And you know how comedies are with pilots. Let's just give it a chance. Watch the second episode. Halfway through, I was just like, this is dumb. Like, I just like these jokes.
Okay,
are just,
I'm glad.
like the writing isn't. I just felt like the writing wasn't there. If listeners, if it gets better beyond the second episode, if the writing gets better, let me know because we gave up on this. So it was just basically.
I'm glad you said that because we have Hulu now, but we have commercials and how you were saying how week to week. Obviously we all grew up on commercials. I'm like, oh my god! I tell them, can't we just pay the $7 extra?
Just
and
pay
avoid
the
these
$7,
commercials?
man.
what I
It's
do.
worth
And she's
it.
like, and my wife's like, no, because she watches Hulu more than I do.
No, take it out of whatever you guys pay me and just
Yeah,
get the extra
Because-
$7. Seriously, like I don't need those $7. You take it out of my paycheck or whatever Jay and Jack pays me, please.
I'll watch MASH once in a while. Well, I
This
love
is shocking
season 2 of MASH.
for
Well,
listeners at home.
but the problem. This is with the commercials on Hulu for MASH. They
Yeah.
have commercials before the theme song, then after the theme song, which I skip ahead. They have like 10 commercials after that. I told my wife, literally, I've sat here for 5 minutes and the show hasn't even started yet. She goes, now we're in a budget. No, it's always a budget, but yet she comes home from Kohl's with bags saying, I
Sure.
had Kohl's cash. I had Kohl's cash. Only if Hulu accepted Kohl's cash.
I
can
know,
go
right?
without commercials.
That Kohl's Cash is a lure. I've been to Kohl's.
I said, come on, man. This is and it's again, I grew up on commercials.
Mhm.
I knew what the game was.
And Sherry brings up the good point. They repeat the commercials, right?
yes.
Yeah.
It's the
Yes.
same ones again and again. It's like water torture. Please, Jack, just don't pay me for like a month or whatever, and just put that. Hey, sweetie, guess what? Matt just donated his
Matt donated to the cause. We don't have to watch
he
commercials.
donated to the cause.
Again,
We
the
got
only
Hulu
because I
paid
don't-
for
I
the
don't-
entire.
I finally
like-
gave up on. I finally said, okay, I'm kicking. What's that show I always bitched about? I can't remember the name. Their
La Brea?
underground time. La Brea.
Right? Yeah.
I finally said, fuck it, I can't do it anymore. I can't do it anymore. Why am I doing this to myself? It's terrible.
Yeah.
It's terrible. I'm not going to watch it anymore. But that's the only really show I watch on Hulu is MASH. I'll just go on there and watch MASH, or maybe a movie.
Hmm.
We watch Abbott Elementary, but as being teachers,
Cindy loves Abbott
Yeah, there's elements of Abbott Elementary that I like, but there's just certain things about sitcoms and TV shows that at some point, if you are a teacher, you're just like, this is fucking ridiculous. There is no. Will Fry says upgrading to Hulu with no commercials was life changing. I know, and I want to give that gift to Jack.
There's a commercial. I get this. I go. And I turn to my wife. I go, yeah, same fucking commercial. Same every time before the show starts, at the halfway point, at the end, before you get the last, little at the end, every single time. And you know what the worst part is? I couldn't tell you what that fucking commercial is all about. Anyway, you can use the what did John the UPS guy say? You can use the money you pay me to watch and get commercial free. Jeez. Anyway, that's my big complaint about it.
Your Hulu rant. Yeah.
All right, so Abbott Elementary, just let me kick the tires of this show for just a moment. There is not a moment in the day in which teachers have nothing fucking better to do than to leave their rooms with students or kids in this case, like unattended, and just hang out and just have these like little like life like, oh hey, how's it going? It's like, no, nobody's got time for that shit.
Yeah, my daughter's a teacher, and she's 7 months pregnant, 8 months pregnant. Well, she's pretty big. She's got the big. She's just big in the belly.
Sure,
that's kind of where the baby is. Yeah,
I know, but it's like
it's really round.
She's just all belly. Yeah,
because I think I've complained about our youngest grandson Ashton before. A kid, he wakes up happy. Goes to bed happy. He's always happy. He's always smiling, always laughing. But God damn, he weighs a ton, and I got a bad back. And so when I pick it, it took me for a while to realize what was going on. I go, my back is killing me. Why? Because I got to carry him up the stairs to put him down for a nap. I have to lift with my knees now because I go, he's like dead weight. He's a tank. And he just looks at you with those big blue. He has these big bright blue marble eyes. And I said, oh, you're a second coming of Paul Newman. Maybe you'll get an Oscar before your 8th movie.
Clearly.
Anyway, he's just so heavy. So I don't know. I can start working out. The kid never cries though. Never cries.
He clearly did not get your genes because
he didn't. Because I always tell Ava, I said, but the only thing he does is he spits up a lot. I go, he's a spitter. Ava Rose, you were a crier. She goes, I was a crier. Yes, I cried all the time, didn't I? I go, yes. You broke me. You.
This is the Star Wars of sexual innuendo here. I'm just saying.
Well, I'm not trying to do that, but anyway.
I mean,
I'm your father.
What's great though is that. I mean, I know this is a total labor of love, and you're not getting paid for this. You do this for
if I got paid, I could pay.
Right?
Yeah, you're doing you're doing this for your children,
and then some. Yeah.
But it is really sweet to know that your grandchildren, like Ava, has these great memories of being with you.
That's what my wife keeps telling me, and I'm like, okay, when do I get to start enjoying this? Because I swear to God, I did say okay. Because we figured out the other day, by the time Jackson's born, that's my going to be the name of my hopefully final grandkid.
Isn't that what Chris named his kid?
I think he did, didn't he?
I think he did. Yeah.
Well, it's what my dad always called me, and so it's Jack's son. But I was 65. When he goes to kindergarten, I go 65. So I'm doing this till 60. I'm only 60, right? Well, I only 60, but I go 65.
Yeah.
I don't know if I can make it.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
You get your
you've reffed a lot of hockey. This is like a whole other level of.
I did. Hockey. I'm not in ref hockey shape.
Kids, stop checking each other.
The worst part is I kind of look like a referee I kind of worked with before. Let me say Russ. Is his name?
Oh, you don't look like Russ.
No, not quite. But I do have the gut. And
okay.
And Russ is still reffing.
Oh wow.
He doesn't talk to me, but he's still. He's I went on his Facebook thing to see if he was all right, and I go, God, he's still reffing.
Well, you did break his heart.
I did. I'm sorry. I said congratulations on his Chiefs winning.
On his what?
Chiefs. You remember he was a
yeah. I do remember you saying that. You did congratulate him on that. That was
but
better. You were the better man.
I am.
Yeah.
So
I like how you're like, yeah, I am. Yeah.
I am. Right. I am the better man.
Speaking of who you look like, though, Jack, and I've wanted to do this a couple times, but it's really hard. But in the morning when I take my daughter to school,
okay, I thought you were going to say
there's a police officer who sometimes directs traffic. Is this a guy that
is that the title for the episode, Morningwood?
Would you like it to
when
be?
Did I Morningwood?
He said the first thing you look at, and then he said Morningwood.
Morningwood. You said you remind me of the first thing I look at every morning. I said Morningwood.
If only we were that young. All right, so back to something that is completely not perverted because it involves me driving my daughter to school and looking.
I know that's what I said. I said it before you.
But he has a similar. He has a similar look because like I'm always driving past and I always want to like hold up my phone, but he's always directing traffic. But with a hat on, I'm always kind of like he's kind of like an Indiana Jack.
How do you know it's not me?
Well, because you're too busy taking care of your grandchildren to drive all the way to Indiana.
That is true.
Fun.
That is true.
Yeah, but anyway, no,
doing it wrong. North to pick up, south to drop off.
Oh my God, the carpool,
Mr. Mom.
God.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I got it.
I knew Jack got it. I knew Jack.
Yeah,
but like,
I mean, it's been like 30 years since I've seen Mr. Mom. So
really, it's a classic.
Yeah.
I actually had a guy presenting today. He was doing an electrical demonstration, and he was talking about low side, high side of transformers. And he's like, that movie that like Chevy Chase did, like one of the vacations where, he's talking about 220, 221, and of course I'm over like, it's Mr. Mom. The guy's like, oh, is it? Yeah. Like, come on, get it right. Get your references.
With Martin Mull and Terry Garr. But
younger than you or older than you?
I try and stay.
He was probably older by a few years.
Wow.
He's probably your age, Matt. Maybe.
Fuck you.
I said a few years. Just a few years.
Michael Keaton?
Yeah.
No, I'm just trying to figure out the age of this guy presenting.
No, he's not that old. No, Matt's gonna have to start calling us gents in the chat.
Gents, I'm not making it.
Well,
today.
gents, I've got to get back to my schoolwork here. I've got a lot of research to get done. So,
but you mentioned carpool, and I pick up Ava every day. Well, Monday through Thursday, the carpooling. I'm like, oh my God, what is with some of these people? Why does it take so long to strap your kid in the goddamn car? I'm like going,
right.
There's this one lady. I go, oh fuck, I'm behind her.
Oh yeah, that's the worst.
I try to get. She has like 2 kids. It literally takes her 5 minutes to put the kids in the car, and she says, I'm like going, do you realize you're fucking everyone else over? But
by the time you get to high school, the parents are like basically pushing the kids out and squealing out in the parking lot as they're like, fucking hey, I'm out of here. Like,
I brought a pillow one day. I said, hey, I brought a pillow.
The parents at the high school drop-off line, I swear to, like, they are cutthroat, slit your throat, like backstab you. Like,
there really is a high school drop-off?
They're nasty. They're nasty.
We're freshmen here.
When I was growing up as high school,
these are all the parents dropping their kids off. It's not even like the students go to a different area.
New Zealand.
So
I'd love to go to New Zealand.
Oh, Randy's in New Zealand. Did you get lost, man? Is there a down under joke in our emails? Oh, okay. There's a Lord of the Rings joke somewhere.
The carpool lane just drives me crazy. I go, oh my God!
It is a different.
And when they're looking for a snack for little Billy, I'm like going, really? You know what I do? My snacks are already out. I just go here. I have their iPads ready. Well, her iPad ready because I have 2 other kids with me. I have Ashton and Hayden. I have their. We had Alex 2 weeks ago. Everybody, every kid, Alex, hey, what the fuck is your name? And I had another issue. We call it the squirrels party squirrel because of bubble guppies. There's an episode with Party Squirrel where he's partying. He's not out getting his acorns. And I had a bird feeder up. And I go, God damn Party Squirrel. He's up at the top of the thing eating the bird seed. My grandson's like, let's get that goddamn Party Squirrel. I go, no, we can't say that. No. Stop listening to your Gigi. But anyway, I digress.
Condoms prevent minivans.
Okay, I'm gonna share with you where Randy is at here. This is apparently where Randy is at currently in New Zealand.
Randy has gray hair.
Well, that's not Randy. This is
okay.
I just Google searched.
Hey, wait! Go back to that rock. Go back to that rock.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Did you get hard?
Rock hard.
It's
kind of split.
It is split.
Yeah. By the gods, it is.
Is that Thor?
It looks like a pistachio.
I have no idea, but this is apparently Abel Tasman National Park. I hope it looks as good as these pictures, Randy. So
it is summer there. So.
He's currently in Abel Tasman NP. What's NP?
No, it has to be on the North Island, right?
National Park. It was National Park. Yeah.
Oh, thank you. So, I would love to go to New Zealand.
It looked great.
I'm going to Alaska in I forgot, August, and can't wait.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Taking a cruise to Alaska.
It's fun.
We did a Viking river cruise last year. Every fucking day, we get a pamphlet or a catalog from Viking. I don't know how they make any money. Every fucking day.
They pillage and they plunder. That's how they make.
Is that what it is? Because
pretty much.
I go, what the fuck? I mean, it's like, I go, well, here it is, Viking cruise. How do they make any fucking money? I don't know. If you work for Viking Cruise, let me know. The seas were rough that day, my friend.
Yeah. I mean,
seas were too rough and windy for kayak today.
And it was 23 years ago when I went to Alaska. But they kind of did the same thing. I did Royal Caribbean, but yeah, they gave us like an itinerary of like where we would be every day. And then you would also get some pamphlets, about each city we were going to port in and what you could do while, how many hours they gave us to.
While
we were there.
My wife and I, we were looking at. Oh, go ahead. No, well, my wife and I, we were looking at railroad. There's a bunch of different railroad kind of, what do you call it? Vacation packages you can go on where you go, for a couple weeks or whatever. So we were looking at a couple of those. Like,
I want to do.
We're reaching that age where we're like, okay, so many years left with our daughter in high school. Our son's getting closer to high school. Maybe we can go on a vacation. We can start
enjoying life. But yeah. I want to do the Swiss. There's a train that goes through Switzerland, and I want to do that one. Yeah, Switzerland. Those are my peeps.
We're talking about orgies again.
Yeah, sure. But pulling a train. I didn't say pulling the train. I'm riding the train. I'm riding the train there, Nick.
Oh, high on cocaine.
But Will Fright says his dad's doing an Alaskan cruise. I know that John the Retired Guy's doing an Alaskan cruise in August too.
Oh, so well, it sounds like you guys are having a little...
Hopefully I don't run into anybody.
Hey, we're neighbors, man.
I'm kidding. I would love to go on a cruise with everybody in the chat.
Jack, it's me.
It's not me. Anyway.
I'm just remembering Groundhog's Day.
That's what I was thinking. Ned Ryerson.
Yeah. We watched that with my kids sometime over the holiday. We were like, not actually Groundhog's Day, but sometime.
I've only seen that. I've only seen it once, or did I see it more than that? Because is it over and over again? I saw it. No, I saw it once.
Really, it's worth going back and
I enjoy it. I mean,
hilarious.
It's just one of those things where I go, I've seen it.
Yeah. It wasn't.
Apparently, in the original draft, like they either wrote or they tried to stray away from like some really dark content, because the idea of repeating, a day over again and a day over again, like you can go into some dark areas of like, hey, I can just kill this person, or hey, I could just have, I mean, they kind of alluded to it because he was like macking on women, and definitely like making the rounds. So
that's right, because
at first
I often wonder, because like they don't, but because my memory is one of those like Mandela effects where I always remembered the train scene that he actually drove into the train, and killed the other two guys with him. But then it's like, oh, like the last few times I watched it, he goes off and then they order the flapjacks. I was like, I thought he killed those guys, but maybe
Flapjacks. You mean hotcakes?
That's what they call them in the movie. Okay, sorry, yeah, gotcha. Okay,
hey, we had those
pancakes. Pancakes have so many fucking different names.
They do.
Hotcakes.
and still no Princess Bride. No, I tried. I couldn't get through it.
Flapjacks.
Classic.
Wasn't
flapjacks?
What's another one for pancakes?
Pancakes.
Pancakes, hotcakes.
It's there's another name for it. Where's Matt?
Yeah.
You know what's neat about The Last of Us is like there's a lot of little
hotcake flapjack.
You ever seen a grown man naked?
Yeah,
slapjack.
They like watch movies about gladiators. But yeah, like in the episode 1 of The Last of Us, remember they want to make birthday pancakes, but they don't have any.
Remember,
mix.
Someone didn't see it.
Oh, did you not? Oh, well then
it's okay. I'm reading about pancake names.
How are you?
Slapjack.
Go ahead, Nick. You're not gonna spoil it.
Well, yeah, but they're just little clues to things that happen, like that you might not pick up on the first viewing, and like so the main actor and his daughter, it's his birthday on like this particular day. She wants to make him birthday pancakes, but they don't have any pancake mix, and then it's revealed in the second episode that it was some kind of fungus that got into the bread supply, and like so them not having pancake mix prevented them from becoming zombies. And I was like, and then like even like the girl in the first episode, her when she's in school, like there's little things in the students that are doing that are like the first symptoms of them becoming what happens, but you don't pick up on it because you just think it's like a normal episode. And it's it's neat how subtly they did it.
Everyday Inventor says hotcakes would make a good strip club name. Hey,
I swear we talked about this. I swear we talked about this at one point, where I had a whole idea about like hotcakes as a themed strip club / breakfast bar, and the pancakes would come to you with a little buttery nipple. It would be a nipple.
Yeah, right. Yeah, around the center
of butter.
Uh-huh. Yeah. I know what you mean.
You remember this, Jack? I remember talking to you about this at some point.
Yes.
Okay.
They're called skink cakes.
Yeah. And then you'd have this like syrup, but it would be like you'd use KO and then you'd put a little bit of powdered sugar in it. So just be this. Okay, well, you guys can make your imagination go.
Mm-hmm.
But that would be one of the main dessert features at this place.
Because I know yesterday on the Survivor podcast, I said it would be more interesting if they did like a Godfather like podcast. I mean, Godfather Survivor, where you just whack you don't vote the person off, you whack them. They're gone. Would people?
It's a true Survivor show. Yeah.
Would people? I said, well, excuse me, I have to use the restroom. Boom, boom. You two have been voted out. I know it's kind of graphic, but no worse than Matt's KY pancakes.
Hey, I'm just hotcakes.
I think we got KY hotcakes. I think we got a new title for the show.
It's not KY. It's KO syrup. With powdered sugar.
Also sausage with a head. Way to go, Matt.
It's a breakfast theme, guys.
It's not a theme.
That's not whipped cream.
Yeah.
I'd like to take my crepes out back.
Well,
anyway,
speaking of movies.
Yes. Yeah, speaking of Oscar winners.
I saw Creed 3.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay. Creed 3.
I heard it's better than the second, but not better than the first.
Well, basically, I told my wife afterwards, I enjoy it. I like the Rocky series, even though this didn't have Rocky in it.
Yeah.
He got kicked to the curb.
Well, you know the reason why that, right?
Yeah, he sold the rights, right?
Well, it's because he asked for them back. You know, it's because he originally for the original Rocky, he was a nobody. He sold the rights to Rocky, so he doesn't.
Well, they wanted James Caan. They wanted James Caan to play Rocky.
Really? Oh, right. Yeah.
And he said no. He said no. I want to play him.
Yeah, I don't blame him. I wrote it.
Me. Right. But go ahead.
But he basically I don't know how he approached it, but that's what he said. They wanted him to write more. Write another Rocky or write another part of Creed, and he's like, I'm not doing it anymore. Like, why should I spend my time writing these things when I don't own it? And he goes, I'll do it if you give me my rights back to it, or at least some of them. Give me something out of this. And
he's
they
still
refused.
Producer.
Yeah, but he refused. So basically, he said, "Well, I'm not going to be in the film."
So many comic book creators. Many comic book creators.
Basically,
do the same thing. They create characters and then they're just owned by the company. That's it.
Creed 3 is Rocky 1, Rocky 3, Rocky 4.
Wait, what?
I think there's a little Rocky 2 in it. I mean, it's
right,
like
in Rocky 5 as well.
They took all the Rockies. And made Creed 3. Yeah. Now I told Cindy the problem. I go, the problem I have with Creed is you see Michael B. Jordan. I go, how am I supposed to watch him and not think of myself? Because we work, obviously have the same body type, and it's like I can't. Okay, dude's chiseled. It's just,
yeah.
I mean, but I thought the fight scenes were done really well. I mean, today's technology. I mean, the way they do it. But I will say this, and I'm trying to say this in a way without getting canceled. Eddie Murphy's first album, he said,
I can't mute you.
Can't mute me. I'm going to. He said Eddie Murphy's first album. He goes, I'm doing a movie with Nick Nolte coming out in this summer, and it's 48 hours. That's what it is. But I'm gonna go see it in a white theater. And that's what he said because I saw a lot of and everyone, and this is at the Alamo Draft House, and everybody is screaming at the screen. But Cindy said she didn't even notice that. I go, the girl next to me is like, oh no, don't you do that. Get out of the way. When the fight scenes were going on, they're screaming at the screen. I'm like going,
oh, right.
It's a movie. But anyway, but I mean, if you love the Rocky series, which I do, it's probably my favorite series of all movie series. I enjoyed it. Cindy goes, I saw it just because of you. I go, look, I saw Little Women. I almost fell asleep. So I think we're even.
And there was no boxing. There was no boxing in Little Women. But I think
Little Women.
How little are they? They're like spooky little.
They're spooky. You find out they're in a little tiny house, and you're like going,
yeah.
It's like what's that mouse? What's a mouse movie? The Mouse Book.
The Little Mouse Book.
Stuart Little. It's like that.
I was gonna say Tom and Jerry, but go ahead.
The one.
That's where my brain's at.
I haven't seen Creed 3, but I probably will at some point. But like the one,
I want to live in Creed 3's house.
Yeah,
we all do.
The one,
even though it's L.A.
There's one guy I really respect his opinion. Like when he does YouTube reviews, and like his review of Creed 3 was pretty good. But like he actually compared it more to Rocky 5 in that because he was talking about how people don't give Rocky 5 the credit it needs.
I love Rocky 5.
Yeah, but he said like this one though, whereas in Rocky 5, you automatically see Rocky has been, taken to the woodshed with money wise because of Paulie. Yeah. And so you had
you want to leave Paulie in charge of your money.
Right. I know that's the dumbest thing in the world.
Book your next lock watch.
He said, so you don't get that. Like you have him skip forward. He's retired, and he's got all of his money. So there's no drama there. And said, but what makes Rocky 5 good is that, he takes Tommy Gunn under his wing, but then this betrayal happens. And so there's so much weight in that. Whereas in this one, there is a betrayal there, but it's not you just don't have the emotional depth to it that you need.
I think kind of I can see that with the Tommy Gunn part, but this was more calculated from. I don't want to give away the plot, but it was more calculated from the other guys, where Tommy was being influenced by the Don King guy.
Mm-hmm.
So, but yeah, I if you love the Rocky, I would go see it, even though it's not Creed from The Office.
Okay, that's good. Thanks for clearing that up, because I thought it was before he got to The Office, and it was.
But I don't know if they can have another one unless it's his daughter fighting. Because now that you have
where do they go from here?
Women,
now
like, that all those children have grown up.
Yeah, daughter of Creed, or like, yeah. Well,
it's the only thing I can think of is that
it
would be her daughter, because he came spoiler.
Bride of
retirement.
Creed.
So it'd have to be his daughter fighting, but But anyway, I give Michael B. Jordan credit because
he's good.
He directed it too.
Oh, did
he? Did.
Okay. Well,
he carries when he's on the screen. He has that. It's almost like Sylvester Stallone. He has that charisma where you're watching it and you care about his character.
I almost wish he was in Wakanda Forever more. Like, I feel like he could have brought something to that. Well, anyway, sorry, I not jump to that movie. I just think of him, and I think of the first Black Panther movie, and
that was my criticism, which I think you guys have heard of the first Black Panther. I think the first act, up until Killmonger becomes king, is so good, and then they squeeze everything, to finish it, the movie quick. I was I wanted more of that, because it just really goes now we've got the armor, we're going to do this, and then it's over, and you're just damn it, because to me it should have been almost a Rocky 1 and Rocky 2 type film, and I would have enjoyed that so much better, because I did love that, though. I don't know if you guys caught that in the Oscars. I did see the little clip of it when he comes up to present. He looks it down at Angela Bassett and says, "Hi, Auntie."
Oh, yeah,
which I thought
awesome. I saw that on the thing.
That's cool.
YouTube, because I didn't watch the Oscars, but
I just watched it on TikTok. So all of the good parts.
That's the best way to watch the Oscars. You don't have the music playing, let the people talk.
Okay,
we're losing TikTok, aren't we?
TikTok is so funky, freaky, weird. Okay, let me just say this as a person who puts stuff out there randomly, and I haven't created anything for a while because I've been busy with schoolwork. And research.
That, you slacker.
Yeah. I mean, it's this semester is a little different for me because my weeks really are spent working a lot more than what I have the free time for. But I have a little spring break this week, so I carved out a little bit of time for myself. I was like, all right, I'm just going to sit down. And I think, just for those that might not understand the process or why, because, my studio is right over there. I could just go sit down anytime and work. But there is kind of this mental block where you're kind of I just want to have time where I don't have to worry about anything else in the world, and the world can just kind of fall away. All the worries of your day, all the to-do list, the honey-do list, all of those things are gone. The grocery list, it's all fucking gone. You can just disappear in your work. That is the the best. So when I have those moments, those are great. And so I carved out a little bit of time. I was like, okay, I'm gonna just work. And the tricky thing is that you think, oh, well, it's just fun. You get to just do whatever, and it's just fun. No, it's not, because there is a part where you're letting go on one hand, and you get to be free. You can just do what you want to do. But on another level, you're kind of trying to articulate something. You're trying to bring that. You're trying to carve out something. You're trying to make it better. You're trying to hone whatever that is, and that is where the grit and the real determination of any artist or musician is. It's just it's carving it out. It's the struggle, and you need the struggle in order to really, I don't know, in order for it to feel real. I think that struggle has to occur. So anyway,
would it be easier for you if you weren't so busy on Wednesday nights?
Yeah. If I wasn't busy on Wednesday nights or Thursday nights, either of those nights, those would free me up for sure.
I think you're hitting it right on the head there, Jack.
Yeah. Wednesday nights. That's the problem. That's why Chris can't be here is Wednesday nights. Anyway, where I was going with this, I have no idea.
But your creative process.
Yeah, I got to work. I got to publish something, and TikTok is so funky because I just put stuff out. I'm just like, I didn't even put out any hashtags.
America's going to cancel it.
Sure, fine. That's what happens. But I usually publish something on TikTok and I publish something on Instagram. Those are the two places that I publish my artwork when I create it or what have you. Sometimes I create stuff and I don't publish it. So anyway, I put something out. I put something out on Tuesday, and it's so weird because I didn't think about it. I didn't look at. I just was like, I put it out there. Hours go by, 4 or 5 hours go by. I'm not really thinking about it. And then I think, I'm going to just check on Instagram and see how many views there are. I'm going to check on TikTok, see how many views there are. And there's like 900, and some views.
Really?
I'm like, yeah. I mean, and I was like, oh, cool. Yeah, I've been getting that's. It's weird. It's weird how TikTok works, though. It's weird how TikTok works because it'll. Okay, I looked at it. And it was at like 9:04, and I was like, "Holy shit! Okay, cool. Like people have seen this. I didn't even put any hashtags. Okay, people liked it, and people favorite it. You never know, which is cool. People respond to stuff. It makes you feel good in some way. It's someone's connecting with it, right? So, a couple hours go by. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna just get back on there and see if anybody else has viewed it. 917. Fuck you, TikTok. Fuck you and you're fucking weird. Like 4 hours go by, 900 people view it, and then all of a sudden it's like, nope, we're gonna squeeze you for those last.
TikTok and YouTube are so frustrating because, like I said, I'll do a YouTube short.
Yeah,
2,200. I'm like going, wow, the first like 5 minutes. Like you're saying, an hour later, 2,201.
Right, and that's it, and it just stalls out.
It just stalls out. You got to hit that algorithm just right, and people have to. Because Jay told me, because sometimes I get pissy when people get a thumbs down. I go, oh, really? Who's against that? And he goes, it doesn't matter. Thumbs down is still.
It's interaction.
Positive.
It's interaction. Yeah, it's a.
So I said, okay, so maybe I should have Nick on. All the thumbs down I would get. I'm sorry, Nick. I forgot you were here.
Instagram's weird though because it'll start off where I just had like 10 views and it'll just sit there quiet, and then all of a sudden that one person comes along and hits like, and then all of a sudden you're up to 100.
Yeah, like, it is fun. It is fun.
It is so funky weird, and I was just like, I'm just putting this out there. I'm not even putting hashtags on it. I just needed to make something this week.
Yeah, you never know what. Like I said, I had that one video that had 200-something thousand views. The NFL video where the guy looks like he's being jacked off. I mean, it's like
right.
It's sex things that obviously, because I was all set to get breast implants, but now with the United States government thinking they're going to cancel TikTok, I go, well, I don't have this huge breast.
They just wanted to make sure that the U.S. owns part of it.
I'm not saying that having huge breasts gives you an advantage on TikTok.
It does,
and Instagram. But if you have huge breasts, you don't even have to have talent. Just saying. I'm not trying to be sexist.
I'm over here just like pontificating on death and what happens after the soul when we leave our body. But whatever.
Exactly.
I don't. I'm not here.
If you do two breasts.
I did. That's all my new work is. It's like, here's
you have like a million
series. I'll be like, new series starting today, and it's just me drawing hot cakes with buttered nipples.
It's like when you look at the live feeds, the girls are always like this,
right? Oh, for sure. And there was one girl that was like talking about her boyfriend's Lego habit, and I'm like, yeah, his Lego habit has nothing on your tits that you're showing us. Thank you. Like,
Chris would love this subject because he loves TikTok.
He would love this part. Yeah, we got to the part. We got to the hour and 14-minute mark, and but he would have already made fun of at least one weird thing that I mentioned. So by this point, Nick, do you want to kick the can?
What? To another topic?
Sure.
No, I mean I don't. Oh no, I don't use TikTok. The only time I ever even is when
Randy
Jack
says
sends us
TikTok
links.
is controlled by the Chinese government. They use it to surveillance purpose. Don't they have balloons for that?
I know, but this is a better balloon because it's on everybody's phone. I think the one thing
what information they can get from me?
I don't know, but they can listen to you, I suppose, through their device somehow.
But what
the one thing that is annoying though, I think, just as a creator, as an artist creator, putting your stuff out there in this day and age with AI bots that can basically generate and create, and even for musicians, it's like if you have a sound, if you create something that's distinct, and that is your style, or that is your voice, or that is your sound, and all of a sudden an AI, an AI program is going to just like take your shit and turn it into something else. Fuck that. I mean, why would you ever put anything out? But then at the same time, how can you ever put anything out? Like, how can you ever get anything sold? Because this is the only avenue in order to get your stuff out, is the internet. But if there's an AI bot out there that's going to take your stuff and just say, oh, hey, you want something that looks like Frank Miller's art? Boom, there you go. Frank Miller style.
I wanted to, Cindy sent me, because there's this laugh on TikTok. I swear to God, it's Warm Taffy. It's Dell. And they've taken his laugh. And I've meant to send this to you. I forgot all about it. I don't know if you can hear this. What do you call it? Let's see.
Oh, I remember you.
And then he mentioned it.
There's a part that sounds like a girl laughing.
It does sound like a girl, but is that Warm Taffy's laugh?
I don't think so. There's a specific part in it which reaches a certain range that I've never heard him reach that. I see the
similarities. It almost sounds like a chimpanzee.
But there's a moment where it reaches this higher pitch that I don't think it's. Maybe you, the listeners at home, send us an email. You can send it to rcadcast@gmail.com. What do you think? Do you think that
laugh? I mean, some people love that laugh. I remember I told the story back on the Married Man podcast. We were in Vegas, and he had that long. And I sat down at the table, and he was doing, and he said something to me, and then the girls at the table go, "Do you know him?" I go, "No." He keeps following me from table to table. I don't know who he is. I go, he's kind of obnoxious, isn't he? And they go, "Yeah." Because that laugh was so bad. I said, that's Dell's laugh. They've stolen it from him, or he sold it. And if he sold it, that's part of
It's very
Jack.
similar.
They sampled
very
it.
Similar. I don't. There's a certain range that it gets to that I just don't think.
I was thinking about taking him to court.
You wanted to take him to court.
So,
okay, good luck. Mm-hmm.
Because it's part of Jane Jack's property.
Yeah.
Sherry says it did remind me of Warm Taffy's laugh.
I think you would have had to actually copyrighted it though.
Yeah.
Jack.
After reading through all of these like crazy artists fighting against Marvel and DC for their character rights, it's like, and it's so funny too because just about every comic book artist is like, "Fuck you, Marvel! I'm going to DC." And then, like, there's these DC artists that are like, "Fuck you, DC! I'm going to Marvel," and they're fucked over either way. It's like watching people like ping pong back and forth between Republicans and Democrats. It's like, sorry, Nick, I'm playing to your base here, but
exactly.
it really is like artists like, "Oh, you fucked me over, Marvel! You took my character."
Well, the problem is that they probably did, but you don't have the money to fight Marvel.
I mean, it is. Some of it is kind of ridiculous.
The problem is the artist wants to eat.
But if they get spec work, to just create something, and they're like kind of more for hire, they're not actually salary commissioned artists, let's say, but they're just kind of like, "Oh, hey, can you do this one thing?" And then they come up with a character, or they build a character in a storyline. Such happened with Blade. So
that's good, John.
Oh,
good luck with that. Good luck with that, John.
If you want to waste your time, go ahead, John.
Yeah.
Okay.
we got flapjacks over here with nipples. So
where are you gonna get your buttery nipples at?
And special sauce. I'm craving pancakes and sausage right now. I don't know about anybody else.
See you later, Hooters. I'm going to hotcakes.
What happened to fuck you RCAD? I'm going to the broadcast. What happened?
Yeah, I didn't even see that appear.
No, it's because because you're talking about fuck you Marvel, fuck you DC. That's so he was.
Okay, I see. Fuck you.
Come on, guys. Come on, guys. Get with it.
Nick's the only one that hasn't been drinking before the.
Oh, okay. Is the broadcast recording
week? Huh?
No.
Okay.
They're recording. They're recording The Mandalorian tonight.
Okay. That's Wednesday, isn't it?
Only if I record with Jay.
You see me jump in the chat last week?
I did. I tried to respond to you, but I was busy.
What did I say?
You were giving me
is a traitor. Matt is a traitor.
He's a traitor. Yeah.
Okay, fine.
Oh, we can't record tonight. Why? Oh, because Matt's doing The Mandalorian.
Yeah.
You guys can record without me. You guys can record without me. Clearly, we're recording without Chris, and he just shows up the night before.
Oh, well, hold on a second. Can we count on Chris showing up?
No.
Sorry,
but if
gents,
I'm not here, he will show up. I think there's there can be 3 of us, but there can never be 2, unless it's a bonus episode and it's just Jack and I.
Right.
Jack and I.
Probably should do one of those soon.
Jack and
San Diego. We should. You got to go to San Diego? What?
No, you said Jacket in San Diego. Remember that was the guy who was jacking off, and then what's that cartoon? The 2 guys. South Park. They did a Jacket in San Diego's old song. So.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
I do want to talk about something I totally forgot about.
Okay. At this time, this show's over. Go ahead. Nick.
Go ahead and tell us about your masturbation.
Yeah, well, it's.
I was trying it to the Jacket and
so
I'm alone in my house. I can do whatever I want.
That's right.
Everything, everywhere, all at once.
You get the Oscar.
Exactly. Well, yeah, exactly. I've been polishing the Oscar.
Hey, come on. To be fair, Nick, Jack and I have been married for a while, not to each other.
Yeah, no.
Why is my Oscar so sticky? Okay.
So I got kind of bored. I got because February was kind of a slow month, as in it's new stuff to watch. So I finally just.
Oh, you're talking about TV. Okay.
Yeah.
Pornhub. It was all the same. Like we recommend this. We recommend this. It's like
I've seen this. Nothing new with the Bukkake this week.
I got tired of the and then I got tired of the stepdad.
Stepdad.
Yeah.
By the way, can I just make this real quick observation? No way are these like people of like an age that makes sense for this relationship to happen. You're always kind of like, wait a second here. You're about 10 years apart. Go ahead, Nick.
So
hypothetically speaking.
Allegedly.
So I finally caved, and I've watched season 1, and I'm almost done with season 2 of Breaking Bad.
What?
Holy shit!
Fuck! I need to text Chris about this.
Yeah.
Holy
Jesus.
fuck!
Fuck! Wait.
Holy fuck!
How far are you?
I'm on episode 9 or 10 of season 2. So
okay,
the last episode I watched is one when they go out in the desert,
go to the bathroom,
and Jesse leaves the key in the ignition.
Yeah,
and Jesse leaves the key in the ignition, and the car, the Ben Omega goes dead. That's where I'm at, and so I started. I enjoy it. It's a good show.
Yeah, a good show.
That's it. That's all we're gonna get.
Yeah.
Season 2 has an interesting.
It's not better than Pornhub, but it's a good show.
Season 2 has that interesting.
Well, Pornhub keeps my attention for sure
because it has the teddy bear in the pool kind of.
Yeah, that was interesting.
It's kind of like an.
It starts at the start.
That's a little bit of the mystery. I think. Yeah, that's a little bit of the mystery of season 2. Maybe we can rewatch it, since you're watching it. But
I definitely
plug through it.
I definitely understand why he won all those Emmys, though, for the role, because he was perfect.
Wait a second, Randy. He watched Saul before.
Yes. I watched. Yeah. So Randy, this is why this has always been the reason why they give me so much shit is because I missed
right.
I missed the window to watch Breaking Bad when it came out. And so I said, you know what, I'll just wait till it's done. And then they announced Better Call Saul, which I knew was going to be a prequel to Breaking Bad. So I was like, you know what? I was like, I'll do a little experiment and I'll watch Better Call Saul first. So I've watched Better Call Saul as it's aired. I still have not watched the last season of Better Call Saul because I don't have AMC Plus. But it will be on Netflix.
Yeah, I'm 2 seasons behind.
Oh, okay. But you know, I'm still happy with everything how I watched it because the episode in season 2 where Saul is finally introduced, you know, I was like, there's Saul, you know, and I liked it's dead to the show. I mean, he's still the same character, the same sleazy, you know, kind of scumbag lawyer, and you know, so I was like, oh, great.
But I think Breaking Bad sums up Better Call Saul better if you've seen Breaking Bad.
Mm-hmm.
Because you see him how he started out, and he was pretty, you know, it's almost legit.
He's a normal guy, yeah.
He's a normal, but he gets into, okay, I got to make money.
Right.
You know, and he becomes, you know, lawyer to the criminals. But yeah, I'm glad you're finally watching Breaking Bad. That makes me happy.
Yeah. I'm gonna keep going. You know,
that puts a smile on my face.
I'm liking the evolution of the character. You know, of Walter White. Because he, as I started saying, I was like, I see now why he won awards because he is the perfect science teacher. You know, in that season 1 of like the way he's like a normal teacher type person, and he's just living a normal life, and then he's trying to do right by his family, and then just you see this dark side of him slowly evolving, and you're like, wow, like this is going to get good.
He breaks bad.
He breaks bad.
Yeah. What I love about Bryan Cranston is such a great actor because I had to be convinced to watch it because I saw him on Seinfeld, Malcolm in the Middle.
Right.
I'm like going,
right.
Wait, is it a comedy? And people said no. I said
I agree with Will there on that one. Yeah, for sure. Season 1, Skylar's the most annoying.
Well, don't tell someone on our Facebook page that.
Oh,
someone with 1 T, because they'll argue with you.
I actually hate Walter White's entire family. You know, aside from his brother-in-law. But
wow, you're hating on his son too. Jeez.
Well, it's just his son. I think for the most part is okay, but there's definitely a few things where I was like, I would have punched you the fuck out. You know?
What about his daughter? What do you think of his daughter?
She hasn't been so.
the best episode, and I won't spoil you, but it has to do with his brother-in-law.
Yeah, his brother. I mean, that's what I mean. Like
it's one of those episodes where it's like the way they filmed it,
really,
the way it was
hard.
acted.
I know, but it's really hard for me to pare down like what is my favorite episode because I'm thinking back.
I'm not saying it's my favorite episode. I'm saying the acting in this episode.
There's some episodes in season 2 that are just like dynamite, like really, really good. And and then there's some episodes in season 3 and season 4 just like really starts to cook, just like it's just getting to this boil.
Nice pun there.
And it starts to turn blue, and you're just like, "Fuck this shit! This is so good." And you don't want it to end. You really don't want it to end.
What I like about his brother-in-law is that it's the same thing as even with Walter White. Of just there's a lot of layers to that character that
you kind of wonder what's under the dome.
Well, yeah. Well, I mean, I've known lots of guys.
I don't think people are going to get that.
I don't know, but it's there.
Another show I never finished.
Okay, go ahead. Sorry, Nick.
But because I've known lots of guys like that have this guy, man's man, all outer version of themselves.
You can say it. I'm here. I hear you.
But he's really got a heart of gold. I mean, the fact that he really because you see him be condescending to Walter like in the first season a little bit, but you can tell that he does actually care about Walter. To go out and look for him and that's he
cares about him, but he thinks he's more manlier than
exactly. That's what I mean, though. But like, really, after he shoots, and kills the drug dealer in early season 2, you see how he's really not. He has post traumatic stress, especially after the turtle incident.
Oh, so you have seen the turtle incident.
Yeah.
That was season
And
2. That's a great scene.
Yeah, it's a great scene. But you see where he has this post-traumatic stress from this situation, and he's really losing that nerve. Whereas Walter is becoming more hardened. And so it's to me it's a nice duality of the show.
The thing with
Walter is
Walter White
he's able
dynamic.
He's able to become hardened because he knows he's dying.
It's crazy that they were going to kill off Jesse Pinkman in like the first episode or the first season or something like that. There were plans to or maybe my brain's foggy, but they had plans.
I do remember that. Yeah.
Yeah, but there was something about like that they didn't think that they were going to keep him long.
But he's great. He's great in it.
I mean, it's a real like Benjamin Linus kind of scenario there, where it's just like they're like, oh, we've got lightning in a bottle here. We need to, there's more to this, or something. So,
Mr. White, what was his favorite What was his catchphrase? It
says relax. Weisenberg says relax.
No.
Relax. Don't do it.
Relax.
Sorry, okay.
Don't do it. Got you. Now I want to watch Breaking Bad again.
I do too. But I'm gonna continue to watch Poker Face because I'm only halfway through that season, and I really want to see how this season ends. So really like the actress from that. I know she was also in Russian Doll. So
she's fantastic.
Yeah, she is really good. And it's amazing that she embodies this essence of like 1970s that is just
if you notice in the beginning, it's like every 70s show where they have the XX. If you watch any television from the 70s, they always had that thing under the title. It's funny because Cindy and I watched Columbo after we watched Poker Face. Columbo's first episode. They recommended, watch Columbo. I don't know if you guys watched Columbo when it was on.
No, I know the show, but I didn't ever watch it. No,
but we're watching it going, okay, this didn't age too well. But the beginning of the show, has the same opening, like they'll show the title of like Poker Face, and they'll have the little stuff they have underneath it, the little XX. You have to watch the opening of Poker Face, and then. But it's funny, we're watching this, and Jay always has this saying. He one time he said, "That's a Spielberg. That's classic Spielberg right there." And I said, filming. So every time I see a shot, I go, "Classic Spielberg. Classic Spielberg." To be a dick.
Yeah.
And so we're watching the first episode of Columbo, and I turn to Cindy, I go, "That is classic Spielberg right there." And she goes, "What?" And I go, "Well, you know how Jay's always saying classic Spielberg. At the end, guess who directed the first episode of Columbo?
Spielberg.
Oh, nice.
Steven Spielberg." And I didn't know that. I was like, see, that's what it was, classic Spielberg. But
I get Columbo and Kojak mixed up because I wanted to say "Who Loves You, Baby," but that's Kojak.
Yeah, that's Kojak.
Yeah, different person altogether.
Because he always had the Tootsie Pops.
Yeah, I always had this. Yeah,
Who Loves You, Baby. Yeah, John, though, you guys right. Poker Face is fantastic. Not a bad episode. Nick Nolte episode is great.
Spoilers. No, the cast in it is also really good too. I was definitely looking up some of the actors just in the episodes that I've watched so far. So,
and it's the funny thing about Nick Nolte, he's given up trying to comb his hair.
Oh yeah,
he's just said, "Fuck it, I don't care."
He's been that way for over 20 years. He just gave up. Yeah.
Now remember, he was in Rich Man Poor. I mean, he was a good-looking guy when he was younger, but drugs and alcohol.
Rich Man, Poor Man, and he was also in
48 Hours. You're welcome.
Steinbeck movie. Shit.
A Steinbeck movie?
Cannery Row. He's on Cannery Row.
Oh yeah, Cannery Row. Yes, yeah.
I didn't know Steinbeck directed that.
You know what I mean?
I just thought he directed.
So did you actually see Rich Man? Did you actually see Rich Man Poor Man?
I've never watched it. I should. I know it's a miniseries.
I saw. I was old enough to watch it when it was on, and there were commercials. So
John the Retired.
That's what miniseries were.
Are you talking about Teachers, the TV show? Because that's fucking hilarious. I like that show.
I always think of
better than Abbott.
I always think of the movie Beautiful Girls when I hear Rich Man Poor Man because it's towards the end of the movie it's their 10-year high school reunion and
is that Van Halen? Oh yes, beautiful girls.
It's one of Natalie Portman's first movies. She's like 16 in it.
Of course, you'd know that.
I know it. Yeah. Well, that's the first movie I ever saw her in because I was too young to watch The Professional, even though she's mine. Age, but that's like they don't really want to go to their high school reunion, and so like they're like, "Hey man, Rich Man Poor Man's coming on tonight." Like, really? Yep, all 12 parts. And they're like, "Oh fuck," and can you tape it for me? He's like, "No, you guys sit here and watch it, man."
Who was the guy that was opposite of Nick Nolte? He was like in every fucking miniseries in the.
Opposite of Nick Nolte, so he was black and had dark hair, and
exactly, it was Eddie Murphy. No, he was put
together, and he
was the rich guy in Rich Man Poor Man because Nick Nolte was the poor guy.
A Nick Nolte movie that is often overlooked, which I really like, is Three Fugitives with Martin Short.
Oh yeah. No, that's really good. I like that one.
Love that movie. People don't.
That's up there with Midnight Run for me. It's like right in that same
Midnight Run,
there, like that kind of like good.
Midnight Run was what's his name, right?
Nobody ever remembers his name.
Charles Grodin and who's the Godfather?
Al Pacino?
No.
Robert De Niro. Yeah.
I got.
You're like, which Godfather? You're like Marlon Brando.
But yeah,
random thought here though. I do like all of the Godfather Zootopia references. If you've ever watched the Disney Zootopia,
Zootopia to me did not get enough praise when it came out.
It is good.
It's so good.
And have you watched they made a bunch of shorts for Zootopia, Nick?
No,
and they're worth going through because they have a little bit more of the Godfather family in that. I think they may have even done like a faux like reality TV show with the daughter of the Godfather in that or something. But there's like probably like 5 or 6 like little 9-minute little shorts that they did for Zootopia. So worth checking out. I know it's a random non sequitur, thing, but I love the Godfather references in Zootopia. And they're making a sequel to Zootopia.
Great.
Yeah, Disney announced, among other things, of course, they're making a Frozen 3 because Bob Iger is in charge now. And he's like, let's make some fucking money, people.
It's funny you mentioned Frozen. Because
Frozen 3 and another Toy Story movie. But the one shining light that I have is that okay, close the book on Toy Story.
Exactly.
But like Zootopia, though, the idea of them going back to that city and all of those characters in an animal like world, I love that shit. So give me more of that.
Yeah. Well, it's funny you mentioned Toy. Go ahead.
I would say Toy Story. Same. We'll get on Toy. I'm on Toy Story as well. But I almost don't even acknowledge Toy Story 4 because Toy Story 3 is the perfect ending. It's the perfect third movie.
There's a lot of people cried.
It's so good, and then you see, and then 4 is not really in that world. It's kind of its standalone Woody.
Yeah, it's just like
tale. It's not really
Fork Boy or whatever he's Fork Man, Spoon Man, Fork Man, whatever he is.
But I agree. I like Sporky. I mean, I like some of the things that are in it. But
you like Sporky?
He's trash.
You like him?
Okay.
But he's trash. You ain't nothing to me.
He's
You're not a fork. You're not a spoon. You're just trash. Sorry.
I think by itself,
I'm going to make him an offer he can't refuse.
Yeah. I think if it would have been like Toy Story, a Woody tale or something, I would have acknowledged
you just don't want it to be part of the trilogy. You want the trilogy to be
not a true Toy Story.
Fucking Disney.
Well, apparently they're making a 5th one, so maybe we'll get Sporky's marriage, or Sporky gets married, or
who's Sporky gonna marry?
Did you guys ever see that meme
where it's marry? The knife?
There is, by the way, there is another really hilarious series called Sporky. It's all based on Sporky. There's about 10 of them, and they're fucking hilarious.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's all about like Sporky
from Toy Story?
It's like Ask Sporky. It's like Ask Sporky a question. Sporky answers a question or something like that. Look it up.
Those
are funny because like he like answers questions of like what is love, and it's all like hypothetical, and he's just really dumb to the world. It's so good, so good. So
Is
it's
it on
worth a
YouTube?
half an hour. No, it's on
Porky and
Disney Plus.
Spoon.
If you have
Did
Disney
you,
Plus, you can watch these things that I've been. This whole section has been brought to you by Disney Plus.
All right.
You're
Yeah, I
welcome.
wanted to talk about Frozen for a second because
Porky gets spooned.
my granddaughter thinks it's funny because she has downloaded the song Let It Go on her iPad. So what she does is she puts it behind my seat where the thing comes down, and she plays it in a loop. I had never listened to the fucking song from start to finish. I always thought when I first thought I never really paid attention to it. I always thought it was Let It Snow, Let It Snow. Then I found out when we went to Disney World, it was not snow. I go, what's this fucking song about? I actually now know what the song is about. She's letting go of who she was as a child, the perfect child. I go,
yeah,
oh, I got it. Because I heard it like 45,000 times. And so now I understand what Let It Go means. And what's her name? Adiba Bada is a fantastic singer. I mean, I can't go wrong with that.
I mean, the snow glows white on the mountain tonight. You know, not a footprint to be seen.
Let it snow, let it go. But anyway, I had to put that out there because for the longest time I go, I don't get this fucking song. What is she letting? What? She touches people, they freeze to death. I don't know what the fuck's going on. Shit. I've only seen the movie once all the way through.
Really?
Yeah,
I think that's me too. Yeah.
I've seen it 100 times, but I've only seen it like.
I mean, I don't have kids, so
okay. Well, I guess because I have a daughter that was at the perfect age.
It's like
I remember specifically going to the movie and seeing that in the movie theater for the first time, watching Let It Go in the movie theater, and I thought, holy shit, I'm going to be hearing this song for the next fucking decade. Like, like I was just like, and the whole time, like the whole musical sequence, the song is not over. I'm sitting there and I'm like, I'm just imagining like tons of ice skaters dancing to this for the rest of like eternity. Like this is just going to be that song. This is like kids grow up on. And
that's the worst thing is figure skaters will get a song. And when for the routine, they play it over and over and over and over again. You're like, oh my God, I wish a skater would just break their leg so I don't have to listen to the song anymore. I mean, I know it sounds pretty, cold, but I can only take so much.
Yeah. John liked this podcast better when it was about buttery nipples. But
well, you know what? This is what you get. You know,
you get
you get what you get, and you don't throw a fit. That's what my wife always says. It's like
you get what you get, and you don't throw a fit. I like that. It's nice.
Yeah. You can use that on kids. That's a kid.
All right, I'm writing it. I'm writing it. Do I have to give
what you get, and you don't throw a fit. Yeah.
Is there any copyright?
No, there's another one too. I don't know if you know this song, the cleanup song. Clean up, everybody
do their share. Clean up.
Yeah, I don't like that
song.
Papa
has no hair. That's how I sing it. The song that the kids clean up to now is Ava's school is "We're Happy." I'm happy, or whatever the song is. That's what how you play that song. I can't get clean up. Both Hayden and Ava will clean up to that song. Play the song, Papa. We'll clean up. I go, okay. I just asked you to clean up. That's not good enough. Nope. Got to play the song.
I think you should play like Metallica for their cleanup stuff. Like Unforgiven.
Well, they like to play. I found like
Sad,
a lot of poop songs, a lot of fart songs.
Okay.
They love it's like boom, 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 boom. They love those songs. So I go, Alexa, play some fart songs. Just play fart songs. Play the poop songs.
Go
find another daycare. I don't care.
One thing I wanted to say about Toy Story again was that.
Oh yeah.
Have you guys ever seen it? I've only seen it one time, and it's a meme because you know how Forky is introduced as like, oh, it's her new toy. She made it at the blah blah blah, and the meme is
how come there's no batteries on
it? Yeah, like this. That's kind of what you're getting at, but but it's like, oh, here's mommy's new toy, and all the toys are like shrieking in fear. Like, what's your name? Like,
Who's your daddy?
Oh, is this playing the zombie song now, huh?
Yeah.
yeah.
I was since this is my spring break and I'm not doing anything exciting or going anywhere except doing schoolwork. I had a couple things on my to-do list, like mental to-do list. I was like, I want to get these to-do lists. Okay, I'm 2 drinks in, okay? Just like bear with me here.
And you're still standing?
And I'm still standing. I installed a ceiling fan this week.
Exactly.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Well, I took the old one out, cut the power off, didn't electrocute myself, got the new one installed. It worked once I turned the electricity on. I had a point to all of this. Oh, I was watching the new Thor, the most recent Thor, like just as background.
What does a ceiling fan have to do with Thor?
I needed background
All
stuff going on.
I'll be back in a second.
And I like the fact that they have a bunch of Guns N' Roses on the Thor. That
The soundtrack,
yeah.
The thing is that I did not enjoy the new Thor, and I love Thor is my favorite of all of the Marvel characters. And the thing is, I think
all the Marvel characters, really.
Yeah, I just like Thor. I've always have.
Huh?
I think
it goes because he's like God. He's godlike, you know.
No, I think it goes back to Adventures in Babysitting, growing up when we were kids.
Okay.
You know, and like the little girl worships Thor. You know.
Yeah. Jack Kirby created Thor in DC prior to him actually appearing in Marvel.
Oh.
So like Jack Kirby brought over his concept of Thor and Odin, and then eventually that translates into the New Gods when he moves back to DC after he leaves Marvel at the end of the 70s. So, or I'm sorry, at the end of the 60s, he leaves, like 1970, he leaves Marvel and goes to DC, and he's like, fuck you guys, I'm going to write a better story called The New Gods. So, and anyway, it has Thor is alluded to in there. Anyway, go ahead. Your favorite character is Thor.
Well, anyway, but like I didn't like the new because it was just a bit too. I just didn't care for it.
I like the end sequence where he like. Sorry for slight spoilers here, but there's a part where he initiates or has new warriors. I'll just say that much, and I like the part where he has new warriors fighting for him, and so in the soundtrack that goes along with that, of course.
And this had to do with ceiling fans. What?
Just listening to Guns N' Roses, thinking about Metallica, not electrocuting myself.
Well, I think
heavy metal.
I think it would have been a lot better if he would have stuck with the soundtrack of just being full of kick-ass 80s hair metal, and he didn't. And then the
first two had more Led Zeppelin,
right?
So this one,
but with the title of Love and Thunder, it should have been a lot of White Snake.
There should have been some White Snake in there.
But I just didn't. I found it more annoyingly funny than actual funny. It was too. I just didn't like it.
I mean, people are going to complain about like certain Marvel movies from this phase.
Yeah, I don't like Phase 4 at all, except for the Spider-Man.
No, I hate it.
But really, though, some of the things that happened in Phase 2 and some of the things that happened in some of the other movies, weren't as strong.
No, you're right.
They're go
ahead. Sorry.
I just think that looking back, there's not a lot of these movies that I want to go back and rewatch.
Exactly. Yeah.
But
I think that's the reason why Phase 4 sucks so bad is because Phase 1 is that way for a reason. You're introducing characters and you're setting the groundwork, but then when you get to a certain point, you're over the hump where everything has to interconnect. And in Phase 4, you're having to reintroduce, or it's a lot of it's jamming a square into a round hole, and it just.
But a lot of Phase 4 has also been just dark, depressing shit.
That too, yeah.
And so much of Phase 1, 2, and 3, specifically 1 and 2, was more bright and hopeful. Marvel didn't go the DC line, right? DC movies are known for being more dark and brooding and kind of like full of angst. And Marvel has kind of thread the needle and avoided some of those traps by having these bright, shiny and funny, lighthearted movies that you don't need to necessarily like have to watch every one. And now all of a sudden we're into phase 4, and it's just like, hey, by the way, your mom died, and we're gonna watch this like depressing ass shit, you know, and we'll throw some few jokes in the end, but also, by the way, we're gonna leave you with this reminder that your mom's dead. Sorry, I'm using that as a metaphor.
Is this Bambi?
Yeah.
No, but I'm just saying it's a metaphor. Like every single movie has a dark,
Bambi's
brooding.
mom died. Spoiler.
The Eternals is depressing. Thor, which, you know, should have been a fun, like it has fun moments.
Yeah,
but it starts dark and ends kind of sad.
But do you think they have to go to the dark side to get people to? Because like people always bitch about Superman. What's Superman? He's indestructible except for the kryptonite. But
well, you know, that's why they killed him in the 90s. That's why he killed him in the 90s.
There's no dark side to Superman.
I think Disney Plus kind of screwed the pooch, or Kevin, what his name is,
Kevin Feige.
Yeah, with the whole Disney Plus thing, and that as soon as Thanos is defeated, you need to immediately, Thanos.
Oh, okay.
As soon as Thanos is defeated, you almost need to from the next movie. Spider-Man was next, and that worked. And like, what's the repercussions and like what's happening? Mm-hmm. You could have had another one right there, but you need to automatically set up the next threat. Like, and they didn't. They did the Loki series, they had the WandaVision series because they're trying to appease this Disney Plus stuff. And it's only now at the very tail end of 4 where we're starting to see Kang. Mm-hmm. And it's just like, well, you should have done this like 3 movies prior, you know, to.
I mean, they didn't really introduce Thanos until, you know, like just at the very end of Avengers, right? Like they entered the first one.
But that's the same. But that's the difference, though, between being a phase 1 where you're establishing the characters and you're establishing the Earth threats, not the big picture threats.
Right.
So that's the difference.
Well, and so many comic book fans are like looking for it. They're like, oh, this is going to be Secret Wars, or this is going to be this story, you know, and they're looking for those big crossover events that are going to unify. You know, it's like they've done Civil War, they've done the Infinity Gauntlet. What's left is Secret Wars, Secret Invasion,
right.
you know, dealing with Kang. But, you know, I mean, the multiverse thing, it's just like, it's so sprawling that it's just like, well, if everything can exist, then what is real, you know? And that's what DC ran into in the 80s. So DC for 50 years basically was just a big, huge, like, basically after they introduced the Flash from Two Worlds, they introduced the concept of the multiverse. It became so noodly that at some point Marv Wolfman, who's a comic book writer, decided, hey, we need to like consolidate these things down, right? So that we don't have this sprawling mess, right? So DC created the Crisis of Infinite Earths. And that was a way that they could pare every multiverse thing down into one thing again, so that they could deal with things after this event and before this event. And they could separate things out. Otherwise, if everything is everything, then what is real, you know? And you almost kind of need something to kind of realize, like, you know, and they fucked over some characters. So slight spoilers, but, you know, for Doctor Strange, but, you know, they fucked over Wanda. You know, you grew to love Wanda from WandaVision, and all of a sudden they turn her on a dime, and you're like, who am I rooting for anymore?
I actually would have liked that, you know, to you know, because it's silly in a way. I mean, because I was not really particular. I understood what they were doing with WandaVision, and I didn't hate the series, but I wasn't that big of a fan of it because I felt it was just too drawn out in the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
But I kind of like that. Like, take someone that you're rooting for, someone that, you know, is you know, because you know that Wanda actually does have a good heart in her, but like everyone falls from grace. You know, it's kind of like that Spider-Man. You know, live long enough to see yourself become the villain. And I would have liked to have seen, because I was not a big fan of the new Doctor Strange. It just was too much, and you know, I don't know. It was just a lot of mixed stuff in there. And but I would have liked to, because, you know, I liked that at the end of WandaVision, the foretelling of the Scarlet Witch will destroy us all and all this. It's like I kind of want to see that come to fruition of like what could go there. and then that be the end of her story or whatever. You could continue, but you never know.
But I mean, they introduced the idea of another Wanda then too.
Yeah, true.
And so then it does go back to that, like, well, if all of this is real, then how can anything actually have a consequence? So and ultimately what has happened with the comic book industry is that heroes are continually dying and being reborn and dying and being reborn and dying and being reborn, and nothing has any consequence and nothing ever really matters, right? So we have no emotional punch or emotional gravitas. To Jack's point, like, Superman, it's like, well, he can do anything. Why should we even care about Superman? Exactly. Well, that is the exact rationale that led to the comic book The Death of Superman.
Right.
Somebody's like, well, let's just kill the fucker off.
Right.
And
then
it
kind of revived it for a little while.
Off.
Yeah, well, it did revive him, but it was also at a point in the industry where, well, anyway, I don't want to get into it because we're already at almost 2 hours and nobody wants to hear any more.
At this time, we're going to take a commercial break.
Let's say we need one.
Okay, are we good?
Yeah.
Yes.
That was a really good Nancy Reagan commercial. I like to imagine whatever commercial was there, it would be like.
Actually, going back to the ceiling fan.
Yes.
You ever find that sometimes when you put the cover on, there's not enough room with all the stuff that they got in there?
Oh, for sure.
All the crap. And it's like, I go, I always told Cindy, I go, I'd gladly pay $5 more for a deeper cover. Something, I mean, I know they're trying to keep the cost down, but what the fuck? One time I was putting one in our room and it had a remote control in there. Like, I don't know why I needed one in our room. I finally go, I'm trying to put this thing. My dad was still alive then. He called. I go, I'm just trying to put the ceiling fan up. This stupid goddamn remote thing is up there. He goes, don't put it in.
Right.
I said, oh yeah, it's probably the right thing to do. Damn it. And once I got the thing, I go, oh, I don't need that. I don't need why do I need a remote when this thing is, I can just stand on my bed and change the speed. It's not like it's up in the air.
Well, I installed a smart one that we can control with an app. But here's the funny thing. I spent 3 hours tearing out the old one, installing the new one. There were a couple where I'm grunting, but I'm not actually cussing. My wife is on the app for 5 minutes. Motherfucker. Like, she's just letting it fly. No qualms about it. I'm like, you realize I was on a ladder for 3 hours here, like working with electricity and almost like killed myself. But no, for sure. The app
because it's hard. You have to balance the fan when you're connecting.
The biggest frustration was the tear out. So that was actually like taking the old one down was actually the harder part. But yeah, it all worked out, and now I've got about 3 more to install. Now that I installed this one, we it's kind of like, let's install this one and see if we like it before we're gonna buy the rest for the house, because you got to get one, and then you got to make a match. But it is nice that you have the app and then you have it hooked with your speakers, so you can just tell.
Ours are old school. They don't have it's been a while since I put up a ceiling fan.
Ours were at that point, they were about 17 years old, and they just had that, they were making noise, and you're just like, there's, what are you gonna do? Spray WD-40 in there? That thing's fucking.
What pisses me off, you can put one up without a fucking issue.
Yeah.
It takes like 30 minutes. Boop, boop, boop. All right. And the next one, like you're saying, 3 fucking hours. I'm like, okay, what the fuck is going on here? Why won't this fucking fit? And then my wife always goes, do you need some help? I go, no, I do not need any help. Please don't help me, because we'll be divorced. I go, there was
a moment. There was a moment where it was just like, why don't you just come down and I'm fine. If you walk away from it, you'll think clearly. I go, I'm going to walk away from everything. I'm not the one cussing at the app. Okay. So, but yeah, I did have a little bit of hiccups with the wiring. Like, it was just like at the switch, at the light switch, it was just like, oh, where does this one go? And I'd hooked it up wrong. And then there's that moment where just like you've installed something in your car and you go to turn it, and then you're like, "Fuck, god damn it!" And then you just have to you just have to take 20 minutes, and regardless of whatever your significant other says at this moment, you eat something, and then you think, "Okay, now I got it solved."
Yeah, yeah. I told the story. Cindy wanted this. We took the ceiling fan down in the kitchen and put this lamp up to match the lamp in the other side of the kitchen. Well, it's similar lamp. And she's like going, I don't know if I'm gonna like this. I go, well, first, if I finally get this thing up here, it's staying. I'm not taking it down. I go, and it was the whole thing. I'm like, it was hot. I'm dripping. I'm just dripping in sweat. I'm like going, because I couldn't get the goddamn thing because it was short, and I couldn't get the little screws in there. It has. I go. She's like, I go. Look, it doesn't. I've tried this 1,000 different ways. It does. So what I do is the base. I had to loosen the base and bring it down. The little plastic thing there. I had to bring it. Finally, I said, okay, what if I bring this base down? I go, as long as it's got enough screws. Yeah. Fine. And I go, and I brought it down just enough where I could get the screws on and tighten it. It took me 2 days because I quit. I said, because it got dark. I said, I fucking quit. Fucking quit. And I said, I'll finish it tomorrow. And then I was like, because it was like boom, boom, boom. Putting the white wire with the white wire, the green. Everything it's pretty simple. Yeah. But sometimes you just can't. I go, I can't get these goddamn screws in. There's not enough room to. She's like going, and she's like, well, what if you? I go, okay, it's not that. It's not that. It's not that. It's not that. I go, and she's like, what if you do? I go, look, you're just guessing. You don't know.
I'm reminded of The Big Lebowski. You're just a child that wanders through the wilderness. So,
and then we pulled the kitchen table over. I said, okay, if you want to hold this up while I try and put these screws in. And then she's like, oh, I find it. And I go, all right, if you're going to do it, you can't move. She goes, I'm trying. And it's just like, I'm surprised we're still together after this lamp.
Exactly, John. Sorry. John asked if I had a ceiling fan story. My actual question was, how did we go from Marvel and DC to ceiling fans? Because I spent the 5 minutes wondering what the fuck, how did we get here?
Well, because Matt mentioned he put a ceiling fan up, and I had a question about the ceiling fan. I was like going, I was listening. So
I do actually have a ceiling fan story.
They fuck you at the drive-thru. That's how it connects.
At the Home Depot.
They fuck you at the drive-thru.
You know what's funny about that scene is that if you pay attention to where they go in Lethal Weapon, they're actually at Subway.
Huh.
Yeah.
In Lethal Weapons 1?
In Lethal Weapon 2.
Yeah, because isn't it Joe Pesci?
Joe Pesci.
Joe Pesci, yeah.
Yeah, they're all in the car and they're ordering sandwiches. But they're going through the drive-thru. But if you watch before that scene happens, they show you where they're driving, and it's
that's the part where they find Jared. He says, "I have diplomatic immunity. I can molest all the kids I want."
His neck, and he's just like, "Boom!"
I got diplomatic immunity. Like Jared,
so good. Yeah. So, well, this is good. This has been a good. I mean, we've popped.
I think we've covered everything.
We've recorded.
We still have
2 hours.
We've had 8 people in the chat for the longest time. Well, of course, Scott's here now, so we should probably end the show.
Yeah, well, I did.
Yeah, he came all the way to Colorado and didn't even bother to. He hung out with the psycho killer, but not me. So.
Oh yeah, I saw that he was in Colorado, wasn't he?
Yeah, he's down the I-70 corridor though. But
so he said, "Fuck you, Nick."
Yeah, just fuck that guy.
At the Nick through.
Cindy wants to go see a Rockies game, but we're not going to do it this year. But
no, just go see Creed 3.
It's cheap too. Crew Stadium's cheap.
Just see Creed 3.
Creed 3. What does that have to do with the
3.
Rockies game? Oh
Rocky.
my god!
You see what I did there?
I got it. I'm like, what the fuck is he talking about? How do we get our ceiling fans from
drunk? He did get electrocuted.
Yeah. Anyway.
All right.
All right, guys. I think that's a good time to wrap it up. It is 11:35, and I have kids to watch tomorrow. So, if you like this show, give us a nice review, 5-star review. We get one like once every 5 years. We did get another subscriber, so we're at 109.
Ooh,
wow.
109.
Wow. One more.
PT 109.
Thanks, Sherry.
Thanks, Sherry, for pushing it. I think we got to 109. We're still a long way from the 1,000.
We need to get to 1,000.
Yeah,
So-
Johnson's take a commercial break.
No,
Well,
we're
already did it.
1,000.
Already-
ending this. This is thanks for telling us
Yeah.
how to do our job, John.
Thanks, John. You're retired. You sit back and drink.
We don't come down to your retired job and slap the dick out of your mouth.
You're right, exactly. That was a comedian that said that, didn't they? Yeah. The guy up on stage, that's how he handled the heckler.
Yes, yeah. I
Yeah.
forget who it was, but
Yeah.
It's up there. It's in the lexicon.
Anyway, we're going to be here next week, probably, maybe with Chris. I don't know.
Maybe it'll be on
Maybe,
Wednesday
who
without
knows?
Matt.
Who knows?
Yeah.
Maybe it'll be Wednesday. Well, it can't be Wednesday because I have Survivor.
Well, oh, okay. Well, that's on you.
Who knows? Maybe the A team. Maybe the A team. From
Dun 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 dun.
We'll
Isn't
be
that
here.
that thing from the A team?
Yeah.
I'm still working on getting Jane Seymour on the show. That you know what? If
That
I
would
got
make
Jane
Chris
Seymour on the
very
show,
happy.
suddenly Chris would go, "I'm healed.
Oh,
I'm healed. I feel better."
I'm gonna be hard tonight.
his right hand would just.
In
No.
1972.
He'd be like,
correct commando unit.
"I shouldn't have taken all those edibles, but Jane Seymour, you're so hot." Do you see me? Anyway, if you want to become a patron, go to patreon.com, blah, 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 blah. And at this time, we're going to thank our patrons. Edgar Rigner Glapfuller, Maggie the Magnificent, Joanne with the plan, and Ed, the creepy, poopy letter carrier. Thanks for what you're doing. Thanks for everyone you're doing. Thanks for everyone who joined us in the chat. Thanks, God, for showing up late. It's better that way because we have to talk to you. And that's all I got. Anything else you guys want to say?
There's always stuff to say, but not tonight.
Hasta luego. And good.
See ya.
Bye. This was a great show. It was 1 in a million.
Maybe.
Will Fry says, good one, guys. All right, no more. Wait, what is it?
Jeez. Read comments, people.
Bye, guys.
Nice.
I only watch a few.